everybody. Catherine, let me know it's working. I still don't know if it's working. Nancy B says hi, so that means it's working. Yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, y'all. Bear with me. This is my first ever live by myself. And I've decided, since these boys are so entertaining, what better time to sit down in the floor and go live. So I've got some kale that's fresh out of the garden. I promise y'all they get fed, but they think that this kale is, and I'm not giving them all this, so we've got to hide some. They think that this kale is the best thing ever, and it's good for them. Fresh out of the garden. Actually, this is the second time I've done this live. I didn't know what I was doing, and I had live and I recorded for a whole long time, and I played with the babies and talked to y'all, and then I realized I wasn't even live. So here I am with Opie, who's the big white emu here, and this little spotted blonde emu. He's not a spotted blonde, he's actually just a blonde emu that doesn't have a name yet. So while they sit here and y'all get to watch them act like they haven't had a meal in a long time, we're gonna discuss what we think would be a good name. I am thinking that either we should stick with the Andy Griffith theme. Nugget's the sheriff, of course. So, you know, I don't feel like we should name anybody Andy because Nugget is the sheriff and Andy's the sheriff. So, you got Deputy Barney Fife, right? But Jason says that every time he thinks of Barney, he thinks of that big purple dinosaur that's kind of scary to him. And he doesn't like that. So, you know, the next best thing is Fife. What about Fife? I like Fife. I don't know how good that is for a name, but I like Fife. Catherine over at G&G Farm, she has a little male, and she has already named hers. His name is Otis. And so Otis, you know, his name's taken. And I didn't even consider Otis. Catherine wanted to make sure Otis wasn't something that I was going to use, and it wasn't. So Otis is Catherine's name, and I need to come up with something different. Goober's a good choice. You know, I just don't know if I ought to kind of get away from that Andy Griffith theme or if I ought to stay with it. Now, I had an intuition the other night. I was so happy because I thought I'd came up with the perfect name. Opie, you are silly. And I sent Jason a message immediately thinking he was going to jump up and down because I had came up with the best name. I thought he was going to love it. And that was Mac. And the reason I said Mac is because, well, we have a nugget, right? So if I had a Mac, that would make a Mac nugget. But then where does Opie fit in? There were no Mac nuggets back in Mayberry, I don't think. That would be totally not the case back then. So I don't know. I kind of feel like I need to see his personality also. They have made a colossal mess. Y'all probably can't see it because the artificial turf is green and this is green. We're just gonna toss it over into the water. But I just don't know, and I don't want to rush it. I don't want to keep people waiting as to say, I thought you named him this and I thought you named him that. Yes, I said Fabio, and I like the name Fabio. I just feel like nothing has stuck. Now, when I said Mac, I felt like it stuck, but Jason didn't. So it's got to be something that's appeasing to all. You know, everybody's got to say, oh, that's right. I know that everybody that's a follower is not going to ever feel that way, but our family has to be comfortable with with calling one of the little fellas something, and has to be, come here, boys, come here. Has to be comfortable. So that's kind of where we are with names. It'll happen eventually. It'll happen. But I wanted to kind of, some of you guys are wondering, when in the world are these guys going to go outside? When are they going to meet Nugget? So Nugget, he's obviously a pet emu, and that's what we want out of these guys. And Nugget has his sister that lives with him, Goldie. Well, Goldie was in a situation where her mate was killed, and she had to be rescued, had to go somewhere where there was another of her kind immediately, or she was going to mourn herself to death. So my friends Stan and Kathy reached out to me, and they said, can you do anything to help us? Goldie's, Pepita was killed, and Goldie has stopped eating, and it was an emergency situation. So we went and we got Goldie, and we rehomed her here at our farm with her brother Nugget, not even thinking at the time that you couldn't possibly breed two ratites, which is what they are. With birds, it's not an issue. With chickens, it's not an issue. With most all birds, it's not an issue. Well, these are not technically birds. They're ratites. So, we rehomed Goldie. She almost immediately started laying eggs. She laid 17 eggs. Nugget started sitting on them. We didn't know any different, although we did a whole lot of research before we brought Nugget to live at our farm for the first time. Goodness gracious. We didn't plan on ever having a female, so breeding was out of our reading. And then I meet PETA over at Milligan Farm, who is an emu expert. She doesn't consider herself to know everything, because if we knew everything, we wouldn't ever learn. So she's very knowledgeable, and she says that that's a no-no because of genetic problems. So Nugget and Goldie, we've been taking their eggs away from them because we don't want to take any chances of them inbreeding. And y'all, just today, I have collected Goldie eggs twice in the past week. Today, this morning, I fed Nugget and Goldie side by side, and then all of a sudden, I don't see Nugget anywhere, but I see Goldie, and Nugget's sitting on one single egg that she laid today. Tonight is one of the coldest nights that we'll have here in Alabama, and here Nugget's planning on sitting on one single egg to possibly hatch a little emu chick that, well, could be deformed and probably will sit for the entire 60 days and nothing will happen. But I don't know. I mean, these little fellas are gonna go out with Nugget. It's just the temperatures have got to get better. The temperatures have got to be come here, buddy. The temperatures have got to get warmer, and also they have got to get big enough to where Nugget won't step on them, to where Nugget, I want him to get used to them through the fence before we actually move Opie and his little friend in with Nugget. I want them to get to know each other and be a slow introduction rather than just putting them out there. And so this is not going to happen immediately. Goldie is going to live at G&G Farm, which is where Catherine is. Catherine has a baby emu that is just like the little one that does not have a name. He's blonde, and so Goldie will go there and have a husband and be able to reproduce with no problems. Catherine's okay with having baby emus hatch. I'm not okay with that. I'm somebody that can't part with anything animal-wise. I get too attached, and I don't need that. I have my hands full as it is, and I know I can't handle possibly 17 baby emus. PETA gets 80% hatch rate out of her emus. So just say, that Nugget and Goldie weren't brother and sister, and Nugget sat on 17 eggs, and just say 14 of them hatched. Well, if those babies are grown with Nugget, Nugget may become aggressive and not want us to touch the babies. And therefore, we end up with, I wish y'all could see him drinking. It is so funny. So then we end up with 14 emus running around in the pasture that become almost feral because Nugget wouldn't let us put our hands on them. I mean, I'm just saying it's a possibility. And I can't go that route. Now, PETA does not let her males sit on them until hatch time. She'll let them sit, and then she'll incubate some, and then, you know, they never actually have a chick that they need to decide if they want to bond with or if they're going to be aggressive with. But I don't want to have to go through that, and I'm not ready to take on that responsibility, and I don't think I ever will. Now, people change every day, but I just don't. 3 males will get along fine without a female. It's not going to be any problem. And emus, they don't mate for life. They're not like some birds are. They're not like a dove. They don't find a mate and, you know, and mate for life. They do mourn if they're not with another of their kind. So it is important. What's he doing? I took my earrings out, buddy. They do need to be with another of their kind, but that doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be the opposite sex. It needs to be something of their type. Okay. And that was why we did indeed go ahead and get another one for him, because he outgrew Miss Aunt Bee. He outgrew her, and there was a chance that he could step on her. Of course, we knew that initially, but we didn't want to go out and get 2 emus at the same time. That was not something we had considered, and we just didn't want to do that. But as time grew or time went past, we realized that we were going to have to do something different, and PETA happened to have another clutch to hatch. So this little fella that's going to come into the view hopefully in just a minute, come on by, buddy. He's a blonde emu, and if you guys follow Arms Family Homestead, Charlie is a blonde emu as well, which is like this one right here. Now, Opie here, he's a white emu, and the whites are a good bit more rare than the blondes, although she did have 2 to hatch like Opie in that clutch, and Ellie and Megan got a female from that clutch. She was special from the get-go. We were kind of hoping that one would be a male, because can y'all see the way they drink? It is like they use a shovel. You turn the wrong way, buddy. They just scoop with their head like that. I wish you would turn around and show everybody. Don't step in your water. Come here. I'm already wet from my previous live that didn't go live. Jethro. I like Jethro. There's Bonnie is from Australia. Hello, Bonnie. Have you seen any emus today running across the road? There he goes. He was showing y'all how he drinks. Watch him. I think he pecked at a piece of kale, but you can see him there. He's just scooping it up. Let's move it over here a little bit. There you go. Look. Show him how you drink. Show him how you drink. Oh my goodness, y'all. I'm telling you. Everybody thinks that, you know, emus are cute and cuddly and everything at this age, and they are. But they do grow up. And that's what you got to realize when you get a pet of any kind. While they're cute and cuddly and fun and fast and all that good stuff when they're babies, they're going to grow up. And you've got to keep that animal. Just because it grew up doesn't mean you're going to go find a new home for it. Just because it stopped running real fast, it's not time to part with it. And so when we get an animal, we feel like it's a lifelong commitment for us, because we're not going to part with it, with the exception of Goldie. Goldie's a whole different situation, and that is for her well-being as well as Nugget's well-being. But, you know, a lot of people are like, I miss Nugget running. Well, I do too. I miss Nugget running too. But Nugget ran when he was this size. Nugget ran when he was a teenager. You found that kale, didn't you? And Nugget's grown now. So he's not gonna, it's just like, you know, when you see teenagers outside, yeah, they're running, they're playing, or young children, probably not Marycarl's age, but it's common to see them running and playing and jumping, and then when they get older, when you get my age, if you were to see somebody running and jumping and acting silly like you did when you were a child, you'd think something was wrong with them. And that's the same thing with Nugget. Some things happen that make him run, that make him act like he's in the Talladega 500. But for the most part, Nugget's pretty chill. Unless something gets his feathers ruffled. Oh my goodness. He's pretty chill. Now look, I'm not holding you. I'm not holding you. You go. Have to be very careful with their legs. You don't want any kind of joints to be affected. They're very vulnerable to leg dysplasia at an early age, and so we have to be careful when we pick them up, and we just don't want any sudden movements. One time wouldn't affect anything, but you don't want to get in a habit of picking them up and letting them run on slick surfaces. That's another thing. Oh no, sir. No, no, no. I'm tucking that in. Some people from my video today wanted to know, why don't I let these guys run loose in the barn? Well, it's concrete floors in the barn. And if I let them run loose, guess what's going to happen? Their legs are going to go like that. And that's a definite no-no. You don't want to put them down on any kind of slick surface. Anything I can do to prevent that leg dysplasia, I'm going to do it. Giving quality feed that's the correct protein and the... Got somebody pecking on y'all's screen. Where are y'all? I can't even see you in the screen. There we go. He wants to see y'all. It has to be the correct protein. It has to be the correct fiber in order for their legs to grow and develop. Or else you got a mess on your hands, and it's probably not going to fix itself. So PETA at Milligan Farm goes to great lengths to make sure that she does not use anything, any bird that has any kind of genetic leg problems in her breeding program. And I felt so comfortable in visiting her farm and learning more about emus, because by all means, I don't know emus more than what I have experienced with one, and that's Nugget, and now these two little guys. So I'm so thankful for her to be a mentor to help me to learn and do's and don'ts. And I mean, anybody that has emus needs to know that they don't go on a slick floor. And this carpet that's in here is indoor-outdoor carpet that I take outside and wash it off every day, because obviously they're doing their business in here and it gets nasty. But it's not easy. It's not easy. But I don't want them on a slick floor. So, you know, it's what has to be done. And if you're going to have animals, you need to do your very best to have the best husbandry, and I'm doing that. So that did not get you anywhere. I wanted to show y'all that I've got some spots on my hand here, and we were eating lunch earlier, and Marycarl said, "Mama, what happened to your hand?" And it's not bad, but it's kind of, it kind of looks like got a little rooster tiff going on. I can hear it. It's not bad, but it's little, it almost looks like bites on my hand. And it's where Opie here has just been inquisitive and constantly pecked and caused some little bruising there. But they are quite comical at this age. They are very comical. You found it again, didn't you? He's not going to hurt them to have a little bit more. And love, love, love this kale. Y'all can see how fast he eats it. He acts like, no, I don't have any earrings in. He acts like he hasn't eaten in 3 days, and he's got his food over here. He'd prefer the kale. We all wish our youngins would prefer the kale over the food, right? I mean, this is food, but vegetables over other things. And he loves the kale much more than Opie does. I don't know if it's age difference or what it is. Maybe it's nutritional requirements. You know, some people's bodies require different nutrients than others. And maybe it's something that he desires that I'm scared of him. When he looks me dead in the eyes, I'm very respectful. Yeah, you're not getting anywhere with that. You want a few more pieces? Okay, here you go. Here you go. Look here. Little man, I don't think you need any more. All right, so I am going to bring the camera a little bit closer to me so I can read some comments and have a little interaction. It's something that we don't do on the main channel in our live, so I can't read that far away, so I'm going to move it a little closer. Goober. Okay, so I like Goober. I like, oh my, y'all, I'm not technologically, I'm not very advanced when it comes to technology, so I don't know how to slow down the comments, and they're going so fast that I'm just going to have to go back and read them. Fabio, yes, I did mention Fabio, and that was because of the little short that I made on Valentine's Day of Jason and his long hair blowing in the wind. So I said, what about Fabio? And Fabio was a blonde. So the little fella that has the spots, the younger one is the blonde. This one is the white one, Opie. Oh, somebody let out a little holler. I don't know who that was. Andy. I feel like we have a sheriff. I feel like Nugget is the sheriff, and I feel like if I named him Andy, I'd be kind of taken away from that. My hand is okay. This is where the goose got me. And if you saw the video, you saw that the goose grabbed onto me, cheese. And y'all, when it happened, I just knew that my hand was broke. I just knew it. I called Jason and I said, look, you're going to have to gather the eggs. I can't do this. And my hand was hurting so bad, and my legs from my knees to my hips were very, very sore. So if you didn't see my video today on YouTube, go check it out and find out more about what happened. But I'm thankful that I can indeed move my hands, and I guess my bones are a little bit stronger than what I give them credit for. Luckily, I've never broken any bones except for toes. I've broken both toes that are next to my pinky toe on both feet, and from the same thing, but two different of the same thing. Horses stepped on those toes, and they're crooked, and I didn't go to the doctor for it, but I know they were broke. It took months and months and months to heal. Nippy, yeah, I like that. He's nippy, all right. But I tell you, after what happened in the chicken area, I'm still going to gather eggs. And you know, immediately Jason said, well, oh goodness, I put my hand in mess. Jason immediately said, well, I'll gather the eggs from now on. I'll take care of the chickens. And I said, no, you won't. I said, that's not fair. They're my chickens, and I am not going to take this as never to go in there anymore. So I got me something that I can use if it ever happens again. But y'all, I tell you, it was such an odd thing that I'm not saying it won't happen again. I'm not saying it won't happen again, because they're animals, and animals are unpredictable. But it makes me wonder if something didn't happen that day that made him think that I was a threat for some reason. It is mating season for geese right now, but he's not around any females. And how do I know that he doesn't think of one of those females in there as his mate? How do I know that he doesn't, you know, say, hey, get away from my wife. You were too close. And I didn't know which one it was. I wish y'all could see Bramble. And come here, Bram Bram. Bramble is trying to play with the little one. And he's just as interested in Bramble as Bramble is him. Bramble's my cat. And he's in the milk room. I got Biscuit laid up on the windowsill in her seat. And Sylvester laid out somewhere. But it's quite cozy in the milk room, where we have a heater, thankfully. I'm so glad that we built this little room, because I wouldn't mind these guys being in my house, but I think this is more ideal. I mean, I think anybody with half a brain would see that this is a better situation than in my house. I do keep it tidy in here, and I'm cleaning these carpets every day by swapping them in and out. But that would be a lot of extra work if it was in the house, because I would feel like I had to, I don't feel like I have to mop after I get this out. I would feel like in my bathroom, I would have to mop it and get it out and, you know, make sure it was a lot. And initially I liked Beep Beep. I don't know why. That's our side-by-side. It's what Mary Carl called it when she was a baby. But Beep Beep, because that's what it sounds like to me. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. Y'all see I'm all eyes on deck when it... Cletus. I like Cletus. It'll come. I just feel like he has to develop that personality before I decide exactly what to call him. I don't think that's a button. Is that a button? No, my collar's not buttoned down. You need me to get you something plaid? You like plaid? Black and white? Or you want red and black? You don't care, do you? Oh, goodness, that was my lip. Oh, my goodness. Live action, y'all. I told y'all I was being careful. Yeah, you did that. You did that. Face mask. Oh, my. That was not good. I asked for it, though. I really did. I asked for it. Yeah, you hurt, little buddy. You really do. But I'm going to keep my lips tucked in from now on. And if y'all see some blood dripping down my face, it'll be okay. Sparky. Is that your name, Sparky? Come here. So y'all tell me what you thought about this live. I don't really know how comfortable I am. We'll figure this out together. But as time goes on, I plan to do a few more, and maybe even with the cats, or y'all see my lip bleeding. Maybe just I don't know. We can see how far the internet will go outside. We've got a booster, but just something random. It's not going to be anything planned. It's just going to be random. And of course, you can go back and watch them not live, but we like to just make people happy, and that's our main goal. He picked this up and took it out of my lap. All right, little buddy, a little bit more before we sign off, okay? Yeah, come here. But it's a good thing I've got kale growing in the garden, because they really, really, really enjoy it. Okay, come here. Come here, little buddy. A little bit more. You about tired of it, aren't you? That was my fingernail. All right. So they have cleaned the kale. And I will, I'll do some random ones. If y'all are enjoying it, then I'm enjoying it. I usually don't have a lot of time left over, but here I am at the end of my day, and Jason's editing. Mary Carl's finishing up her school, so I said, hey, what better way than do it? And this live, it ended up taking me an hour because I recorded 30 minutes that didn't even go live. So y'all bear with me as I learn my technology, and just keep those names coming, because something might hit. We just got to figure out exactly what kind of what kind of animal and what kind of character he really is. So until next time, y'all be good. Have a good night and stay warm.